This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is presented by Rotolo's Pizzeria. Fresh ingredients, friendly service. That's just the way we Rotolo. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pro Drive Outboards. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. And by CCA Louisiana and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament.
Welcome to Superior Bait and Tackle, and welcome to Paradise, Louisiana. And Don, we had a couple cool days. Hadn't rained in a long time, except we got to ask blessings on the poor people in Florida and Georgia area now.
Yeah, we've
Texas,
already forgot
Louisiana.
about Texas and now Florida, and we've been right down the middle and thankful for that. This is kind of your homecoming edition. Welcome back to Louisiana. Had a trip in Missouri, huh? You ought to be glad to be back.
Right, I'm right up there, and thank God I had Chris. Chris went over there and went on that little trip with me. He drove the whole way, and it's just beautiful country. It's beautiful country. We up in the hills and watching them going straight up and down the roller coaster.
And yet another organization that is taking care of some of our war heroes, our veterans. Today we're going to meet retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Chance Vaughn of Denham Springs. He suffered a severe head injury during a battle in Mosul, Iraq back in 2007. Chance and his dad were invited for a trophy deer hunt of a lifetime to the Oaks Game Ranch in Stover, Missouri. Trip was made possible by Denham Springs-based Storm 22, a great organization. Chance shares his story and knocks down his personal best trophy buck. Well, let me ask you, is there any truth to the rumor that the happiest people you're back in Louisiana is the people in Missouri? Is that true?
You better talk to Chris.
I understand you made some good friends up there. Huh?
I made some good
Had a
friends,
good time.
made some good connections, and the boys that were from here, we got real close, and in the future you're going to see a lot more from Storm 22. You know your little question about what kind of shrimp it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some
Kind of
answers
blew up, huh?
on there. Well, I got a few on email, but
Okay.
Chris on Facebook, it blew up.
Well, good. We'll finally tell you what it is if you hang with us till the end of the show and identify that critter that we asked you to take a guess at. Did anybody guess it right on the guesses? No. Huh?
They're all close. We'll
close.
tell you more about, Gerald Horst, retired.
Well, sure,
from
he's got the real deal.
LSU Ag Center and Wildlife Fisheries. He gave us a good answer.
Well, good. We'll
They
share
were
that.
close.
Also going to tell you about the cervid carcass transport regulations that are now in effect. You heard us talk a lot about it last year when it was being discussed. Well, deer season's opening up. September the 16th is our first season in Louisiana, but other states are open. If you're going to be transporting deer in, you need to be aware of these regulations. Also, we got some news to talk about. We got some more information, an update on the mealy cane scale bug and what it's doing there. We'll share that with you. Also, we got the H&H tournament report. We've had some tournaments. We always ask you to send in your results and your information so we can help get you some participation in your rodeos, your tournaments, all your events. Also got a hunting report, dove season in Louisiana and Mississippi. We got more splits coming up. We'll kind of give you that. And a lot of people like me and you are looking to this weekend for the teal season, the kickoff of the duck season.
Well,
We'll get some reports on that.
we got some reports on that, but I want to go back to that trip in Missouri. You know, you and I have been to these lodges, and we never failed to amaze me how hard that these people on them lodges, Ryan Lambert, Tofield Bourgeois, never stop. They're cleaning duck, they're doing this, and running all the time. The boy that manages this, Bob Story, he's a story in himself. You ought to see him. He was cooking, he was running, he was locating deer. He's an amazing guy.
Are we going to get to meet him on tape?
The Oaks, I'm pretty sure that he did it, that my buddy right there is going to take care of it, Chris.
All right.
It's called the Oaks.
The Oaks. All right, we'll take you to the Oaks, and we've also got a Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report. If you're headed out this weekend, got some tips and advice for you where to catch them and how to catch them. All coming back here from Superior Bait and Tackle on Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, where you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Pod's moving in storage.
I need to clean out my study.
We'll deliver a container.
My brother-in-law's moving in.
Maybe he'll help you pack.
He's lazy.
We can refer some professionals.
It's just until he finds work.
We can keep things at our storage center for as long as it takes.
I am not happy about this.
Or you can keep your things on site for quick unloading.
Did you say freeloading?
I said unloading.
I heard freeloading.
I'm sure you did.
Store on site or let us drive your things to our secure storage center. Pods, moving and storage, solved.
Hey, I'm Mitch Rotolo, owner of Rotolo's Pizzeria. Our pizzas are prepared every day using the freshest ingredients. But Rotolo's has so much more to offer than just delicious pizza. We have an array of healthy salads and tasty wraps, a wide choice of pasta like spaghetti and chicken parmesan, zesty buffalo wings, and our selection of savory calzones. And don't forget to try one of our amazing desserts. Come into any of our local restaurants or check out our entire menu online at rotolos.com. That's just the way we Rotolo.
Relationships are everything in life. For me, the most important relationships start with faith, family, and friends. I feel blessed to be married to my high school sweetheart of over 25 years. We were both born and raised in Louisiana, and so were our 4 children. We're proud to call Louisiana our home. That's why giving back is so important to us. Whether it's car seats, bicycles, or helping those in need. At Gordon McKern Injury Attorneys, we feel blessed, knowing that we can come to work every day and help our community when they need us the most.
Call 800-653-9968.
How you doing? This is Chance Vaughn. I'm from Denham Springs my whole life. Went to Denham Springs High School, and I went to college, went to Southeastern, and then, of course, 9/11 happened. I wanted to do something to try to help, because these bad people tried to put us away. So I went in the Army. I went to 75th Raiding Battalion, Special Operations, and I really liked my job. Of course, I went 3 times Iraq, 4 times Afghanistan. Then October 1st, 2007, I went to Mosul, Iraq, and we knew this is a bad person, and went in there, and he shot me first, of course, my left arm, right there, and the second time I got shot, he shot me in the face with a Russian .45 pistol. Of course, you can see half of my brain was blown away. And I went to Germany, and then after that, I went to Walter Reed Hospital, and these doctors and nurses just beyond understood what happened, helped me so much. The doctors told me doing 6 or 8 months to go back home. I was like, I couldn't not say it, but I was like, I'm not gonna make 6 months. I wanna go before that. So from 2008 till 2011, straight up, and about 2010, close to 2010, my speech therapist and my physical therapist was like, Chance, you're pretty close, you're doing great, you're pretty much at the end, you need to go. I said, Roger that.
I knew Chance from school. He was a year behind me. I graduated a year ahead of him. But there's a guy named Alec Peary, great guy. He was a friend of both of us, and he called me. And he's the one that let me know and kept me up to date what was going on with Chance after his injuries. And he's the one that asked us if we could really help him, and we focused our attention to Staff Sergeant Chance Vaughn.
So he called me, Brent Ballard called me, and hey man, Chance, this is Brent Ballard. I'm from Storm 22. I'm helping vets, and would you like to come kill a deer, and a nice deer, and up there north in Missouri? I was like, sure. I mean, I love deer hunting. I'm always outdoors my whole life. I've loved deer hunting, duck hunting.
We started looking around with ranches and stuff, and I believe Paul Epperson actually had contact with Mr. Bob. He called us, said, hey, this is what he's talking about. He's a veteran himself. He wants to help y'all, give him a call, and it just went from there.
I called him, and he was excited. I just asked him if he would like to go hunting and take a hunt to the Oaks Game Ranch in Stover, Missouri. He said that'd be great. He loved it. And he said America.
He started texting me also where we going, and I saw the pictures. I was like, oh my God, they've got a lot of big deer there. So I was like, oh my God, that is awesome, man. I would love to come. It's beautiful here. There's no pines, there's no thicket here. It's a beautiful oaks here, beautiful hills. More deer I've ever seen. So many big deer, so many beautiful deer.
In the Oaks Game Ranch, they give us an area of a size on a deer that Chance Vaughn could kill. We came up here looking for that deer and that size of a deer.
The first day, he told me just look, and oh my God. Big deer, huge deer, a lot of deer. We see some deer, same deer, and Mr. Bob, he wants the deer you want, and I said, Mr. Bob, I want any deer, you know, but he said, you don't kill a big one, you know. I said, Roger that, Mr. Bob.
The particular deer that we had in mind for Chance just wasn't there, you know, each time he hunted. So one of the guys here, Mr. John, who knows this place like nobody else, I believe, he told us right off the bat, he said, Brad, don't worry about it. I know where this deer is at. I'm gonna find this deer. I'm gonna know where it's at, and I'll get him on the deer.
He located the area where the deer was at, and he allowed Chance Vaughn to be able to do a spot and stalk. And he spot and stalked this deer until he finally got up on him close enough to where he could get a shot on it.
And I seen the deer, I couldn't tell, you know, obviously there's a bunch of trees and the thicket, and I couldn't really tell the horns, and Mr. Bob said, trust me, it's a big deer, so Roger that. And I shot that deer. And it dropped it pretty much, it moved a little bit, but you know, I killed the deer. Oh my God. Well, the biggest deer I've seen in my life, and the biggest deer I've seen just killed. So happy and very happy. I'm proud of all of this. Storm 22, all about it. People helped me to just kill the biggest deer, and I have no other clue. The people helped me, and I've killed the biggest beautiful deer. I've got beautiful Missouri right here, Mr. Bob, and I don't know what to say.
The size deer that he was able to kill exceeded our expectations and was much bigger than the size that he was originally going to kill. So we got to give special thanks out to Bob Story and Oaks Game Ranch for making this happen.
Oh my God, the biggest deer of my whole life. And I've been shaking, and I ain't stopped shaking yet. Yes. I don't know what to say. I don't understand what to say. How about that? A lot of people, they're done in the military. It's very, very, very hard, and I know this. A lot of people have PTSD. It's so hard to do all you've done and just come back here in Louisiana and back home in the United States. It's just, it's switch that fast people are, and I know because I've been there many times. And I'm lucky for me, the Storm 22 for Brent and Brad, they brung me and they let me calm, let me relax, have fun. Kill a big old huge deer, hang out with my dad. He helped me more than anyone will ever know. And I don't want to say it, I don't want to say thank you for Storm 22.
We started this organization to bring national attention to 22 veterans a day taking their own life due to PTSD and traumatic brain injury.
We're both veterans. We both have multiple deployments, and so we share a common bond just in being veterans and being overseas and doing that.
There's more veterans committing suicide in just the state of Louisiana alone than are killed by drunk drivers and house fires in a year. There's more veterans that's taking their own life every year than that's being killed in battle, in combat.
We aid each other with therapy, I guess you could say, by talking and that kind of helps us with our PTSD.
It is up to you. It's up to you. What do you want to do? If you want to do it, you can do it. And that's another thing. It's up to anybody. They told me 6 to 8 months. I went less than a month and a half. So that's another thing that people don't understand, that you can do what you want to do. And that's one of my favorite things about that. And I'm proud when I did what I've done. And I'm very so proud I am. And I love it back here in Louisiana my whole life, and I always have and always will.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Hey y'all, it's Sam Barbera. I'm with the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation. The foundation is a nonprofit that raises funds and provides support for the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Department. We assist with numerous projects like black bear, whooping crane, bald eagle, as well as family, youth, and women's workshops. For all of the information on the foundation, visit lawff.org. We need your support to help our wildlife and fisheries. Visit lawff.org.
And we hope you enjoyed watching that Storm 22 gift to a veteran of going up to Missouri and having a deer hunt. And speaking of that, Gary, they handled everything right, getting the deer carcass and the meat back into the state of Louisiana. Those regulations we talked about so much in depth last year that were being hammered out are going into effect. Other states' deer seasons are open. Ours will be opening soon, so you need to be up on those regulations if you're going to be transporting deer from out of state into Louisiana.
Yeah, but Wildlife and Fisheries got it up on their website. It started last week, and they got all the instructions. They're a little complicated for somebody like me. I don't do a lot of deer hunting, but they can simplify it. They'll tell you what to do, how to do it.
Well, basically, a cervid is a technical word for a hoofed animal, so it expands more than just a white-tailed deer. If you're shooting exotics or any of the hoofed animal species, you have to abide by these regulations. And basically, what the law says, you can't import, transport, or possess any cervid carcass or part of a carcass originating outside of Louisiana, except if the meat is cut and wrapped, it's been boned out, quarters, or other portions of meat with no part of the spinal column or head attached. Antlers, clean skull plates with antlers, clean skulls without any tissue attached, capes, tanned hide, finished taxidermy mounts, and clean cervid teeth are all okay. Any and all bones shall be disposed of in a manner where its final destination is at an approved landfill. And again, those regulations, if you want to get more familiar with them, look it up on the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries website.
But CWD is basically an acronym for chronic wasting disease. It's a neurological brain disease affecting cervids, in particular white-tailed deer. That's the species of concern here in Louisiana. One thing about the disease is it is 100% fatal. Another big part of the disease is the fact that a live host isn't needed to transmit the disease. The disease can actually manifest in the environment, and the environment itself can be a source for infection. In Louisiana, we're fortunate in the fact that we haven't diagnosed the disease. We've tested over 8,000 deer in Louisiana since 2002, all of them being negative. Right now, our testing is basically focused on what we consider high-risk animals. So those are animals with neurologic symptoms. In addition to that, animals in or adjacent to captive facilities, since many of those have come from states that have chronic wasting disease. And we also focus on road kills because you never really know if an animal was hit just by happenstance, or was it somewhat neurologic and unable to get out of the way? So that's basically where we're focusing our testing at this time. Obviously the focus was to keep cervid carcasses from outside of Louisiana from coming into Louisiana, but it was, you know, we were quick to realize that you're going to have certain provisions or exceptions with that to allow hunters to return with at least the meat and potentially the parts that they could use to, for taxidermy use. So some of the exceptions that are listed do allow for deboned meat to come in. They also allow quarters as long as there's no head nor backbone attached. Meat that is cut and wrapped, that is okay also. Then the other parts aren't specific to the meat, and those have to do with the taxidermy products. That's the cape of the animal that can be possessed and brought into the state, as well as the antlers with a skull cap. However, what is not allowed would be the whole head or entire head intact. So that cape and that skull cap and antlers would have to be removed before the hunter transported it into Louisiana. States, keep in mind that Louisiana will actually be the 38th state with the cervid carcass importation ban. So for many of these states, you mentioned Missouri, you know, Arkansas, Illinois, they've had these bans in place for some time, and as a result of that, the industries in those states have somewhat adapted to preparing products for shipment. So many taxidermists in those states are already providing that service, knowing that their clients are going to another state to have it for a final mounting or to their taxidermist of choice. So there certainly is, but that would require a hunter, you know, to do some homework on the front end and actually locate and find someone that would be willing to do that for them in the event that they were lucky enough to harvest a trophy in that state. But that would be a great way to get that trophy back to Louisiana in the hands of a taxidermist that they have confidence in and allow that work to be done back home in Louisiana.
First thing, I'll just show you some of the tools that we use here in our shop to make it easy. There are many different methods out there that many taxidermists use and prefer, but we'll show you the way we've been doing it for about 30 years. First thing is just a small tape measure, just to take a few measurements that are very helpful. Not necessary, but it is helpful. Another thing is my favorite tool, a sharp pocket knife. I like to use a scalpel with disposable blades. Really sharp knives are better. Pocket knife, scalpel blades, whatever you're comfortable, whatever hunting knife you carry. Another thing we call it, it's just a hammer. We call it our caping hammer and screwdriver. Not necessary, but it does make it a little bit easier to get around the antler burrs. So with that being said, these are the basic tools. Once we have the skin caped off the head, then we like to use either a hand saw or a reciprocating saw. Just makes the cutting a little bit easier. Most people have these around the camp. If not, you can use a hand saw, no problem. There are different methods of cutting. Our choice is the Y method, Y incision. The first thing you want to do is find the center of the antler burrs, right behind here, and we're going to cut a V right here, a V. You don't want to cut hair or you want to cut hide, so you want to get your scalpel or your knife right up underneath the hair, right in the center of the back of the antler burr, and you're going to first cut here. We're going to make a V here from one burr to the center of the head, and from the other burr under the hair to the center. You got your flap, there's our V. Now we're going to make our Y. We're going to make our incision straight down, under the hair, under the skin without cutting hair. This is our Y incision. The next step is once you have your Y incision, you want to pay real close attention to ear butts, ear canals, antler burrs, eyes, tear ducts, and nose. Now you see the Y here, the cut. Then you're going to work this flap up. You're going to start following the bone here. Make sure you cut through that skin without cutting hair. Once you kill the trophy or buck that you want to mount, the hard part's over. So take your time and don't get in a rush. This can be done by anyone who watches the video. The cleaner you get it now, the easier it is later. And it keeps the smell off. Here you have it, properly caped deer off the skull for transportation, freezer space, ice chest, or traveling across lines.
There's information on our website, but obviously contacting the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries would be probably the recommended step. There's a 1-800 number to contact the department. In addition to that, there's numbers within our hunting pamphlet and on the website for our Baton Rouge headquarters office, as well as regional offices around the state. Any of those offices, local offices, would be able to answer their questions, as well as the folks here at headquarters. Hunters are great stewards of the resource, and because of that, hunters in general are going to have a concern for that resource, and realizing the impacts or potential impacts of this disease on Louisiana's deer herd, we're somewhat hopeful that many folks will take voluntary steps to minimize the chance of transmission back home here in Louisiana.
Hi, I'm John Jackson, and you know we always say we gather our groceries out the bayou. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, catfish, redfish, you have tons of choices when it comes to fish in Louisiana. But when I fry fish, there's only one choice, and that's Louisiana fish fry. My new favorite, the Cajun fish fry, has the perfect amount of cornmeal, corn flour, and the perfect mix of spices that really bring the heat. Hey, if you're craving Cajun, go look for the bright red bag at your local grocers. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with Louisiana Fish Fry.
Welcome to the Paradise, Louisiana Hunting Report. And Gary, we start off with, we're right on the brink of some big seasons. We do have one area open up for the archery season for deer in Louisiana. Other states where you guys just came back from Missouri, it's already open there. October 1st will be the small game season, rabbit and squirrel. But between now and then, we've got some that will open. The dove season was pretty good, and we've got some more of those coming up, some dates on that'll be starting soon for the second split.
Don, we had some calls, and I've been having some emails, people looking where the paid dove hunt. So I called one this morning. I called Blake Swallow, full strap and stringer. His number is 318-730-8809, second split. They will be having paid dove hunts. You know a few places also where they can call and do a paid dove hunt.
Right. There's always more people that want a dove hunt than they've got places to do it. So it's hard to find a good one. A couple of good ones in Poplarville, Mississippi, where I've hunted. Crane Creek Hunting Preserve, Lance Ladner, his phone number's on the screen, or Running Creek Ranch, which is also in Poplarville. Give them a call. Both of these hunters do the same thing. If there's no birds, they will call you and tell you don't come. But if there are, if you leave your phone number and tell them you want to go, they'll call you and you can put your hunt together. As far as duck hunting guides, there's a lot of them on websites you can find. For teal hunting, it's a good time to do a cast and blast where you hunt the teal. It usually happens real early in the morning, and you got the rest of the day to fish. So that's also some good
You know,
sport.
we hunt all the time when we do over there. You know, they still got ducks and still them together. Last year their bookings were down. They had a good year, so you just look over there and them guys, or you go to our website or the people that we're hunting with, and you remember, you start booking now because you just never know. Ryan Lambert and them got blast and cast. Tofield tried it one time, but didn't do it. But what's the little blast and cast guide service over there in
Delacroix? Chris Pike, good guy. Chris Pike.
Yeah. So
And, they always have. That's one of the best places for teal. Teal season is going to be opening up this Friday, and people need to make a note of that. If you're watching this on the Wednesday or Thursday show,
that's a special note for you.
It is. Yeah, it is. It was a special thing for me to be able to allow me to get out for the first time in 28 years and hunt the opening day of teal season. By the way, we're going to be at Ryan Lambert's Cajun Fishing Adventures hunting Friday, and Saturday you'll kind of hear a Teal Central radio show live from the lodge at Cajun Fishing Adventures if you're going to be tuned in on your way to go hunting or bring your radios to the duck blind. You're going to be hunting with the state duck calling champion. That should be exciting. Vermilion waterfowl guides, Mr. Hayden Richard. I'm really interested to hear his calling technique on teal. You guys hopefully have a good hunt. Have you gotten any reports from him as far as
we
teal?
got some reports from them. Chris, they had the little video they sent him. But they're doing it. But I'm getting other reports from that area because I've been hunting there for years, and usually the first part of the year, it is real good. They started to see them. Now, the governor told me when they did the flyover during the storm, he didn't see as many. But in the last week or so, they're starting to show up. I talked to Blake Swaller. Blake has got a lease down there in Pecan Island, and also Welsh. My brother's guys they hunting with, they starting to show up right now. The old Cajun way, Cleve, he been working all the things in Texas in pipeline. But his brothers and them in Colin said they're starting to see them show up in the Gaydon area, the Kaplan area. They're starting to see a few teal show up. So, but you know, them things, they move around now with all that fresh water. You know, Gaydon was flooded because of that levee breach. You know, I remember one time those old guides over there would tell us, they said, you know, they were scattered. You remember you and I went? And then after Rita, and they got, well, it was middle of the week, and sometimes there weren't people pushing them. But what they do with a lot of water is that they stay there. They're not, if they concentrated, they get shot at, they leave. So that's probably a good thing.
Teal. Speaking of teal reports, I talked to Larry Reynolds on the radio last Saturday morning getting a report. It's mixed. You know, they are seeing some teal. He really didn't get a chance. In fact, as we're taping this show, he's in the plane right now, flying over the intersex, trying to get a count on the teal. But population-wise, the numbers are up again. It should be a good season, 6-bird limit. Got to be specific about the bird, though. Remember, it is only blue wing, green wing, and cinnamon teal. No other ducks are allowed during that special teal season.
From a general standpoint, it looks pretty good. The teal population continentally was up 18%. They're way above long-term average, so we've got a good number of teal in the population. I think we're going to see pretty fair numbers of teal in the state. They've got to be scattered widely. The habitat conditions along the coast, at least from central Louisiana west, are not very good because the water levels are so high. But the same things that make the water levels high in the marsh and habitat conditions not so good contribute to lots of water on the agricultural landscape north of the marsh. And that's typically the habitats that the teal hit first and heaviest. So I'm optimistic. You know, maybe I'm just sitting here soaking in this beautiful weather down in southwest Louisiana, and I can't help but be optimistic. But I think that's reasonable.
And he said, again, a lot of it depends on the weather. We got to get the cold weather north of here and the conditions to drive the birds down. But the population numbers, some species are down, some are up. It should turn out to be a pretty good season.
You told me, yeah, depending on the weather.
Right.
But you was mentioning a while ago about your license.
I do want to remind the teal hunters everything you need to get before you go. It's full-blown duck hunting. You need your small game license. You need a state duck stamp. You need a federal duck stamp. And the one that a lot of people forget, the free but mandatory Harvest Information Permit, also known as a HIP. So you got to have those 4 things to be legal before you go out hunting teal. If you buy your license online or over the telephone, it tells you that your federal duck stamp is good for 45 days from the date of issue, which is not going to take you from teal season to the last day. The reason that is because they mail you the actual physical stamp, so you'll get that in time before your 45 days runs out. So don't panic if you see that. You will get it. Now, I think they probably do a better job of explaining that. But there's a toll-free number to call if you want to do it by telephone. You can go online. You can also purchase your license. Just make sure you get them before you go out.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Hey, I'm Mitch Rotolo, owner of Rotolo's Pizzeria. Our pizzas are prepared every day using the freshest ingredients. But Rotolo's has so much more to offer than just delicious pizza. We have an array of healthy salads and tasty wraps, a wide choice of pasta like spaghetti and chicken parmesan, zesty buffalo wings, and our selection of savory calzones. And don't forget to try one of our amazing desserts. Come into any of our local restaurants or check out our entire menu online at rotolos.com. That's just the way we Rotolo.
Welcome to the Flambeau Outdoor News segment here on Paradise, Louisiana. Gary, starting off, there's some more information on the mealy cane bug. We've covered that extensively about this insect, an invasive insect, killing off the roseau cane, which is the heart of our wetlands, and they're asking hunters, duck hunters particularly, now they're going to be out there doing this weekend with the teal season and building blinds, to not move that cane from one location to another. Make sure you leave it where it is. Clean it out of your boat before you head back to the launch. And if you spot some that you see and you suspect that it's an expansion of this invasive insect, look on the screen. There's a website, and they ask you to download a form and actually help them report that. So if you see it, you can actually do something in the name of conservation of our wetlands by reporting where you see it. It's surveymonkey.com/Phragmites scale. And again, you'll have to go back and look it up, but you can find it on our website. Also, we got a change in the black bass slot limit. It's going to be removed from Caney Creek Reservoir. You know, this was an experiment that started years ago to try to implement these slot limits to grow our bass, grow trophy and quality bass, as they were called, and it doesn't seem like any of these areas really have been successful at doing that, but it was, you know, worth the try. So what they've done now, the new proposal is going to replace that slot limit with the statewide black bass regulations, which is 10 fish, and as a daily limit, but there will be a minimum size imposed on that. Other news, CCA Star is over. Seems like it just started, ended on Labor Day weekend. We're going to be getting all the results and the winners, and Rad Trash will be probably coming back on this in a couple of weeks. And then in October, we'll give you the date and the information where you can go to their awards night.
We got some things that y'all need to be involved in. The Elmer's Island Beach Sweep is this coming weekend from 10 to 1 p.m. They'll have, you bring your own other stuff, but they're going to have stuff to eat out there and something to drink. So, but you need to bring your own coolers, but they're going to be, they need a lot of help. And they're expecting a big crowd out there at the Elmer's Island Beach
No
Sweep.
special skills to pick up trash. Huh?
No, but you know, again, we need to remind the people out there they can start putting receptacles, and maybe they need to start raking it like they do at Grand Isle Beach. All right. September 23rd now, that's the big day. That's Louisiana Hunting and Fishing Day all over the state. Started over here in Baton Rouge at Waddell Wildlife Education Center on Flannery Road. Last year, the flood caused it to be postponed, not have it in Waddell. But Woodward's is another big one, almost 3,000 people there. They got it in Minden, also Minden, Louisiana, and Monroe. You can always go to the Wildlife and Fisheries website and find out more about it. But what amazes me, we've covered so many through the years, is they got every kind of shooting sport you want to do to the kids. They line up, they got food, they got lunch, they got drinks, they got hot dogs, everything you can think about. You notice I mentioned food twice. But they got archery, they got them doing shooting, and some of them high school kids that have been winning national awards, or be especially in woodwork, they be there. In fact, 15 years ago we started our show. We did our first show from hunting and fishing there at Waddell. So New Orleans area, the U.S. Power Squadron, they got their full week course starting up. It starts next Tuesday. It's 4 Tuesdays in a row, and it ends on October the 3rd. It says it's free, but you need to pay the cost of the materials. That's it. That's all they ask for donation. And by the way, if you're born after January 1st, 1984, you have to have one to operate a boat, anything over 10 horsepower. Don, let me read it. I don't want to miss nothing. Oh, this has been going on for years. The Saturday is the Feliciana Wildlife Expo. It starts at 6:30 in the morning. They sign people up for what they call a nature walk. But then at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., there's so much stuff going on, I can't tell you all about it. They'll be at Idlewild. Over there, they're going to have talk about food plots, deer diseases, deer netting, feral hog control, butchering techniques, snakes, and then got the 4-H shooting sports in there for the kids. So it's a very big deal. Look on the screen right now. You need to call somebody over there. It's 225-683-5848.
All right, very good. When we come back, we'll have the H&H Tournament Report right here on Paradise, Louisiana.
Pause moving and storage.
We just sold our house.
Congratulations.
We have 2 weeks to move.
We'll deliver a few containers.
Our new home's not ready.
No problem. You can store things with us while you're between homes.
We might need help.
We'll refer trusted packers.
We'll be staying at my brother's.
Well, that sounds...
He has kids of his own.
Well...
5 of them.
Ma'am?
Help.
Trust us for local and long-distance moving and store at our storage centers. Pods, moving and storage, solved.
The best part about being a member of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative is that it's your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Welcome to the H&H Tournament Report. And Gary, tournaments are kind of falling by the wayside when we get to the fall season, but we still got a couple of them kicking off.
Sure, yeah. You know, talking about tournaments, they're still going on right now in September. They got the Tuesday night bass tournament in Fox River, and also they got a Friday night. So those will still be going on all the way to the end of September, and we mentioned. But now we got, we just got some big ones. We got the ladies rodeo again coming up right around the corner, and October 6th and 7th, and that's at Bridgeside Marina. Big deal. I'm talking about it'd be almost 600 participants. I just hope the weather's right. It'll be a great deal. North Shore Bass Series is another one just starting. Your friend Keith Lusher.
Yeah.
Been over there starting it. It's going to be a trailer to your spot. Wherever you want to go, be on North Shore, even as far as Delacroix. And you can get more information.
It's always good when you got a new tournament like that, a series that's starting to get in on the ground floor of it. And this is a perfect opportunity. So try to make that first tournament.
That's October the 7th. Let me reiterate that, and you can go to his website, North Shore Fishing Report, and I'm sure you can get all the information you want to do.
Definitely all there. Now, it's kind of a competition. It's not exactly a tournament, but the state duck calling competition is big, and we got the results. It was held at the Gaydon Duck Festival.
Well, The state duck calling senior champion right now, by the way, who we're supposed to make a hunt with him in our teal season, is Hayden Reshard. The state duck intermediate is Miles Pine, who is
Heard
close
that
with
name
your
before.
friend over
Yep.
there in your head, right? The state duck junior is Caleb Nash. The senior team duck was John Chesson and Nick Patan. Now, these guys are there every year. This first year, I didn't make it a long time because of the storm, but I want to thank them guys that are doing it. The state spec senior, another big one, John Chesson. And the state spec junior is Braden Domain.
Congratulations to those guys. Right here from Superior Bait and Tackle on Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, where you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Relationships are everything in life. For me, the most important relationships start with faith, family, and friends. I feel blessed to be married to my high school sweetheart of over 25 years. We were both born and raised in Louisiana, and so were our 4 children. We're proud to call Louisiana our home. That's why giving back is so important to us, whether it's car seats, bicycles, or helping those in need. At Gordon McKern Injury Attorneys, we feel blessed, knowing that we can come to work every day and help our community when they need us the most.
Call 800-653-9968.
Aggressive, modern, and durable. The latest advancement in spinning has the Revo name on it, and almost a century of fishing expertise in it. No matter where your passion takes you, world-class fishing is only a Revo away.
Welcome to the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. And Gary, a lot of people are putting the fishing rods down for the shotguns and the football tickets. But a lot of people who are fishing are doing pretty good.
They're doing fishing.
Grand Isle, got to give them a A+ for this whole year, really.
Well, you know, our friend Tommy, Carl Vidrine, and his wife Jaylyn, they still hammering them. They go. He moved out of his camp. He sold his camp, and he's renting a condo right now till he builds his new camp. But every chance he'd get, he's fishing, and he's still catching fish. He catches them along the rocks and on the beaches, and they're running up and down, still using pokies, but they're catching a lot of fish right now on the old sparkle beetle, and they still catch them on croaker too. So, but bugging them, everybody I talked to got shrimp now, so if you head down there, just think we ain't far away. We're less about 3 weeks away from the women's rodeo, so them guys over there, them women piled in there. I just hope the weather stays like it is right now. It's not too hot, not too cold. And really, that's the only saltwater report
Yeah,
I've
there's
got.
not a lot around. I talked to Kirk Stansel over at Hackberry Rod and Gun. You know, they had problems early in the year with the fresh water from the Sabine River. Guess what? They got a ton more fresh water from that rain that was dumped over that way from Harvey. So they're kind of waiting for that to filter out. They're kind of turning their sights to the teal season now, too, which a lot of people are doing now that hunting season's coming in. Other than that, you know, the St. Bernard area, Hopedale, Shell Beach, they're picking up some trout over that way, but it wasn't like it was during the early part of the summer. It's going to slow down. We're in that transition period. And Lake Pontchartrain, I mean, I cross the lake several times a week, and I see very few boats out there, and that's a sure sign that the trout are not there at the bridges. You can pick up some redfish. The L&N Train Bridge has been one spot. Not getting many reports from Lake Bourne either, so it's getting a little bit tough over in that part of the country.
Yeah, well, I talked to my friends over there at Lake Castle, Island Marina, the Stewarts over there. They go out 2 or 3 times a week, like you're saying. Sometimes they're doing good. In Lake Bourne, they fishing live shrimp, and they fishing around it. When they go to artificials, you know, they're catching redfish. They're not catching many trout, but when they do catch a trout, it's big. So Miss Angie was telling me the other day, she's ready. The cooler it gets, the more and more they're going to turn on. I can remember Mike Devon sending them fishing off his pier. September, October, the best time right there, the Cohagen Canal. So just looking up. That's the only reports I get. In fact, that's an old report. It was 5 or 6 days ago they told me that, so I really don't know what's going on with this cruise front blowing it out. Now, freshwater.
Well, before you get to freshwater, I want to go back last week. We talked about that run on the Jack Crevalles tearing up the mullet in the Pontchartrain area. Our friend Captain Eric Mohabarak, they had a little jack tournament out there by kayaks, which is kind of like almost like a ride the bull, maybe even pull you further on a Jack Crevalle, because that's a real fighting fish. And we sent us some pictures of some of the fish that were caught. Wasn't a good weather day. You know, we got a lot of wind over this area. Even though that storm Irma was way over there in Florida, it sent some wind this way during the weekend. And they moved the tournament from the south side of Pontchartrain to the north side to take advantage of the lee side. And if you're into catching something that you really want to just catch and release, Jack Crevalle might be it, because they will test your line and your equipment. Freshwater, where are we at on freshwater?
Freshwater, I didn't get but one end. Well, the old mainstay is the by Black Marsh.
Yeah.
Amelia, all them boys are fishing down there when they can. Like you said, a lot of them going there and checking they camp, getting ready for duck season, and they going doing the different things down there. But that's where they're catching those fish right now. Them boys, they fishing spinnerbait, that green colored blade. Gary Krause was talking, they're still fishing frogs and they're still fishing top water. So some of them things are really grassed up. You got to go to punching, but they found in cuts and off of them points and down and by Black, and they're catching fish on spinnerbait, been the #1. Chartreuse, white, and blue has been the hottest color. A friend of mine, Mr. Shake Snyder, sent me a report from Pearl River. It was such a long report. I don't even know where it's at. It's off the Pearl River. Is it Waste House Bayou? There been no monster fish. He said all the fish they caught all day, he might have had 1 or 2 could have been away in a tournament, 2 or 3 of them, you know, but he couldn't put 5 big ones together and win a tournament. But he was fishing with the green blade, you know, on spinnerbait, and they used a humdinger spinnerbait, a lot of other things. He caught a few of them on a frog, so it's just happening. That's the only report I got from all over, all other places, is by Black and there in freshwater. But I got an alligator report. Jason Lemoyne is about to get back in. Yeah, by the way, he's in Kansas making a deer hunt too. But he took his normal, he takes people from around the country, they bring them to the camp in Red River. Him and his brother had some people over there from Nebraska. They had Josh Coney with them, and look at this monster alligator. And they had a good trip, and these people are just wide-eyed and excited. But they do that every year. Jason and them take people from around the country, and they go there and they catch alligators. So,
all right, there's your alligator report. Speaking of Gary Krause, you mentioned him. Gary stopped by last week on the show, and he brought a picture of a really strange-looking critter, and we decided to throw it out to the audience and see if anyone out there could recognize and identify it. If you didn't see it, it kind of has some of the characteristics of a crawfish and also a shrimp. Well, responding they did on Facebook and also by email. Some of the guesses that came in, a lot of people thought it was a river shrimp. Some said it was the bayou prawn, a rosy lobsterette, a trigger shrimp, a pistol shrimp, a freshwater shrimp, and then people got creative in trying to combine the two names. So they came up with crimp, cross shrimp. One said looks like supper. Another said crawfish turning into a shrimp, similar to a tadpole turning into a frog. I don't know where he got that science from. Also, somebody called it a schrofffish. We had a lot of fun, but we got the real deal from Gerald Horst. Worked for the LSU Ag Center, fishery biologist for a lot of years. He writes for Louisiana Sportsman Magazine about some of these unusual critters. He identified it as the bristled river shrimp, and you'll see the genus and species, the Latin official name for it. He said it's one of a 4 oddball river shrimp family besides the usual river shrimp. These species are normally found in areas with low salt, low salinity, and bays more often than in the big rivers. So there it is. It's the bristled river shrimp. Remember that one. And we'd love for you to send the pictures. If you get something unusual like that, and I know last year I helped the university collect some hybrid ducks, crosses between the. If you see any of that, fish that are unusual, or even crustaceans, crabs, shrimp, send us the pictures of it. We'd love to get it with some details of where it was caught, who you are, and any other information about it besides the picture. And keep those pictures coming for your reports,
what about
too.
jackrabbits with horns on them, like I see in some
A
of the
jackalope?
stories?
Yeah,
A
well,
jackalope?
yeah, we've identified the jackalope. I think we know the story on that. Send it to Gary@ParadiseLouisiana.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back again next week. We're going to be at the Martian Bayou Magazine's French Quarter store in downtown New Orleans, bringing you another edition of Paradise, Louisiana.
Paradise, Louisiana is presented by Rotolo's Pizzeria. Fresh ingredients, friendly service. That's just the way we Rotolo. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pro Drive Outboards. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. And by CCA Louisiana and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament.